and welcome to IGN Anime Club, episode 41. Almost said 31. 41, we're so far. I'm your host, Marita Sanchez, and joining me today is Callie Plaguey.
Hello.
Megan Sullivan.
Hail and well met.
And joining us again, Mike Mamon.
Yay.
Hi.
Yay.
Yay anime.
Yay anime.
Yay anime. So, we've been watching a lot, and maybe not what we're supposed to do. Okay, so I always feel like during a new season, I have the hardest time at getting attached to certain shows. And I often wander back to older shows. I'm like, oh man, I was supposed to watch this. I could watch a new thing, or I'll watch the old thing.
I do that too.
Yep.
Yeah, especially when I'm feeling down or something. I'm just like, man, I just need something I can binge.
Comfort show.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like something I know for sure I will like instead of something that I'm like still feeling out.
Yeah, that and also like
Yeah.
there'll be like shows that I hear a lot about, and I've never watched it, and then I would just start binging on that, and they're like 2 years, 3 years old.
Yeah, that
but
was
it's the best.
That was me this weekend. I was hanging out with my twin sister and watched Psychopaths because I know I was getting a movie soon, and we had the trailer. It was really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yes, we do. Check that out on
Yeah.
IGN.com. We have the trailer
The
and it's
English
cool.
dub of the
Yes.
movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and so I've been wanting to get around that forever, and so I watched that instead of new stuff.
No,
fine.
that's okay
That's
because
totally fine.
Psychopaths is good stuff. It's made
Yeah.
by the Goose in
I
the Show
love it.
people.
It's not a feel good show, but
Yeah, you won't yuck your way through that
Oh
one.
no, I've just finished the first season and starting the second season. So
yeah, I'm halfway through the first season, so episode 12 or 13 right now, and it's
I
fantastic.
love the first season.
What,
Yeah,
do you like about it?
So I
The
always
opening intro
love.
is good, by the way.
The
I
opening
like
intro
the
is
first
awesome.
one more than the second one, but
Yeah,
that
I agree.
always
I agree.
happens. That always happens.
Yeah.
So this is like Minority Report the anime.
Yep.
It's
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like
Yep.
yeah, we're identifying you. You can be a criminal, so you're gonna be locked up. Oh, all right.
Yep.
I just love the technology in it a whole bunch,
Yeah.
Dominators are so cool.
but the costume thing, the virtual reality costume thing. So your clothes, like you just have a compact,
Oh,
and you can
yeah,
change
yeah.
your clothes by just doing. You just selecting items, and it'll just change it automatically.
Basically,
Yeah.
this show has everything I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
possibly
You
want.
can
And
change-
you can like decorate your house or something
Yes.
Yeah,
differently.
you
It's
can,
like really
it's
cool.
like, oh, I want to be in a French room today. It's like, okay.
All right, awesome.
I know, just a
Fantastic.
really cool way of thought.
I would dress so much nicer if I had something like that and it didn't take me like
Yeah,
So
an
easy.
hour to get
Especially
ready.
if you could
Yeah.
tailor it to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It
it
fits
fit perfectly.
always.
Always, no matter like how
amazing.
much food you ate.
Yeah, no
It's
matter
the
what.
best.
I
Yeah.
also like some questions it has about like technology and how we use it and how we're dependent on it. And so that's
Yeah,
cool.
Oh, yeah,
It brings
it's
up a
very
really
deep.
cool point. If only
Yeah.
Tom Cruise would be a voice on that, it would be perfect. I mean, let's just bring it full circle to Minority Report. I don't know. He's a dynamic actor. He'd probably be really good at voice acting.
Probably.
That'd be so weird.
I think
I
a
like that.
Psychopaths live action movie and Tom Cruise was in it.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Bye. I'm
Whoa.
leaving. See ya.
Just go down. No.
I am also guilty of watching a not feel good show that I should have finished. I wrapped up Death Parade over the weekend.
Oh,
so
I love that so much.
I only had like 3 episodes. So when we put it on our best anime of 2015 list, I was like all for it. And then when I finished it, I was even more for it.
So I'm taking you like the ending.
I really liked it, especially. Well, I don't.
Without spoilers, of course.
Spoilers.
but-
Mute for like 1 minute. The stuff about suicide hit me really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with my boyfriend about this because he also finished it over the weekend, and we were talking about like how there's this element of depression in one of the characters, and we talked about how our moms reacted the same way her mom did, and we were kind of talking about like I wonder if my teenage self would have liked this show. I don't think I would have when I was like a really depressed teenager. Because to me it would have been like, oh, this is propaganda saying that, you know, you can be happy again or something like that. But watching it now really affected me in a positive way. Like the wanting to live, like I felt the desire to live
Mhm.
Yeah.
that she was feeling, and it was super impactful. I liked it a
Wow.
lot.
It's a super emotional show. I mean, I love that they present things as you could go to heaven or you could go to the void, but it's not as black and white as you think.
Right.
And so even the, arbiters, they don't really know, these judges, they don't know if they're really doing right or wrong. And I thought that was very fascinating. Like, it wasn't just, obviously, you know who's going where. There's all sorts of different relationships that people have, their
Right.
elements. It's like, why do people do those things? And they explore the motivation behind it. And I think that makes it particularly impactful when you're watching it and you get emotional.
Yeah.
You're like, it's not just this person's good, this person's bad. It's like the one with the mother and son, that was really hard to watch.
well,
that was a hard one.
I enjoyed the season as a whole, but the end I felt was a little rushed. Like, I think they could have added 2 more episodes and it would have been perfect. It felt like they just shoved too much information at once instead of kind of easing it in.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see the case for having a little bit more of a buffer at the end. I loved the ice skating scene. I thought that was the most phenomenal scene. Like, super well done, super beautiful and somber. But like the last episode is very much like, okay, now here's everything. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's like there's some it was more of the higher up stuff that didn't have to deal with the protagonist that just felt like it was okay. Well, this is over.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bigger picture things that were just like, oh no, it's fine, don't worry about it.
That's the part.
That's the thing that I was like,
yeah, I agree completely. I really liked the ending as far as the characters go.
Yes.
I'm not sure I got everything I wanted to out of the like overall Flowerhead
like
dude
cosmic
cosmic impact,
Yeah, like
which
what
comes
it
from the
means.
OVA Death Billards, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah, so it felt like they were just priming for something else almost at the end. You know how sometimes a season ends and you're like, well, that was a setup for a second season.
I assumed there was going to be a second
too.
season, and it was like, oh no, I guess
I think it's over. Yeah,
it's over.
It's done.
It's like over. That's the weird thing upon reflecting is I liked it a lot as an ending. But again, there's a lot of unanswered stuff where I'm like, I'll read a fan fiction about it, maybe.
Yeah, just pretend you know it happened.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's like, oh well, I'll make it up myself.
Me and my boyfriend will make something up.
Apropos of nothing, but I love that opening flyers.
Yeah,
it's
I like
so
it a lot.
good. It's been stuck in my head for like 2 weeks now.
Me too.
You know what also has a great opening?
What?
Erased.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, it does.
nice
my God.
segue.
AKFG.
I can do that sometimes. Sometimes I'm feeling it. Today I'm feeling
Today
it.
you're on it. Today you're on point.
Asian Kung Fu Generation.
Yep.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, I love AKFG.
So-
Side note, me and my buddies in high school, we had this cover band, and we did AKFG Loop and Loop.
Oh.
And then another song which I totally forgot, but it was interesting because
That's
we told him
amazing.
to memorize the lyrics romanized like a couple days beforehand.
Oh, so
Wow.
like phonetically you memorize
Yeah.
them? That's amazing.
And then, I mean, it went well. It sounded ish like it. I don't know. But it was, anyway.
Do you have a
love
recording of
AKFG.
it?
We
Where
did,
can I find
and
this?
then,
Yeah, on YouTube.
Is
It's
it on
an
YouTube?
amazing thing.
but it was like old school. We had like a cassette, video.
That's okay.
You were in high school like what, 6 years ago?
Okay, well, what? No, it was like.
You're like
07.
a couple years
I was
older than
7.
me.
I was,
That's close.
You're a couple
That's
years older
close.
than me. So
well.
yeah, cassettes, what are you talking about?
cassettes. I had
It was-
cassettes growing up. Ask me about
That's
that.
all I had at the
purposefully-
time.
he's not
That's all
leaving
I
a
had at the
YouTube
time.
trail.
I didn't have
That's
that
what he's-
digital expensive stuff. But anyway, it's somewhere. I think we might have recorded over it.
This
but
isn't like a
whatever.
hipster thing. We're like, we got to do it on
Yeah.
cassette. We got to do it on vinyl
Yeah, right.
to be
If
real.
only.
To keep
But I
it
wish
real.
we did. Otherwise, I'd be sharing that right now. But yeah, it was. No, AKFG is.
Cool.
They're
That's
bomb.
awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that theme song is like, it's interesting. The theme song for Erased is like, it seems sort of upbeat, but also melancholic. I don't know how to describe it, like how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
But that show, man.
Oh, that
Oh,
show
yeah.
is right in the feels.
It's the one show that I'm just like, is it up yet? Is it up yet? I constantly
know.
refresh. Like if anybody comes up to me at work, I'm like, oh, this is for
The
work. Don't worry.
cliffhangers are the worst in that show.
They're so
Ah.
good. So the thing with Erased is it feels predictable. Like it's not a surprising show, but it holds its suspense really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
I think the reason for that is it's grounded in abuse and
Yeah.
even though sometimes it's hard to understand where abuse comes from, the outcomes are pretty predictable, and it does a good job of both handling them with care, handling the subject matter with care, and also maintaining an interesting episode, like an episode that I am paying attention to 100% the entire 24 minutes. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
like I don't check my phone at all.
I don't wander. I don't pause. I sit there and I watch the whole episode because it just has this really good pacing. It's so good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I think that it's very rare to find a show that handles such a heavy topic with grace and good pacing and suspense. It's like, yes, it is kind of predictable, but there's one element of like is it really this person who's the abuser? Is it this person? What's going on?
I mean, they're pretty obvious about a lot of stuff too. Like they show you what's going on. They don't leave
But
you
not
wondering.
necessarily like of his powers. Like he has the
Well, yeah,
ability.
not the powers,
like the
but-
powers is sort of where the mystery comes in, and I like that balance where what's going on with the abuse isn't super surprising, but how does the being able to rewind
Sometimes
time back a little?
Sometimes I forget that he has the power. Like I just follow the story and like.
Yeah, he doesn't have
Yeah.
superpowers.
Yeah.
He just has this ability to go back in time, but can he prevent it?
Yeah, I love that it's all done. It's suspenseful, but it's not overly dramatized.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
ever feel
Dramatized.
It doesn't
noun for
yeah, it doesn't ever feel forced either.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're trying to build up tension that doesn't belong. It all feels
Right.
very natural and fluid.
Yeah, it's not like one of those crime shows where they're like, and then the killer walked in with the bloody knife, and then it like switches to a like reenactment of someone screaming.
Yeah.
I don't like those. I do like crime shows, but I like them when they handle it with like the right amount of suspense.
Right.
And I feel like this show does that, albeit in a different way. But yeah,
Go watch Erased if you haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we've talked about it so much. But I
we're
feel
gonna be
like
talking about it even more.
Yeah.
yes, where we finally are in this season though. I think we just got done with episode 4, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Five.
Wait.
Five.
What was I say? 4 or 5? I can't
One of
remember.
those.
It's 5.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like this is the first one. Like after this, this feels uncharted territory. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yep.
where I'm not sure what's going to happen. Whereas
Yeah.
before I was like, okay, well this is obviously going to happen. This is going to happen. Now I'm like, all right, what's next? So
Yep.
watch Erased.
Watch it.
Yes, it's really good.
Speaking of things to watch, I need to watch Evangelion 3.33. Finally.
Finally, I saw a Tumblr post that was like, my parents said there was a package at the door for me, and I was like, I didn't order anything, and it was that, and they checked their Amazon like order history. It was from 2013.
Yeah,
That's
it has
amazing.
been
Yeah,
well
been a while.
over 2 years. I think it's like about 2 or 3
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
depending on exactly when it was up for pre-order. But
But it is no longer a figment of people's imagination.
It
It's
exists.
real.
it's real. I got it in the mail and I was like, yes.
I'm sure that'll be a real yucker too. I'm sure you'll
Oh,
laugh your way through that.
I'm watching a lot of happy shows. Happy things. Nope.
Erased and Psychopaths.
Yeah. Luckily, I am watching happy shows, so I'm trying to catch up on all these shonen shows, and so I'm
Ooh.
watching Hunter x
It's
Hunter.
not always happy though.
But no, they're not always happy. They're
I
happy right
know.
now.
They're
I
not
have been
always-
that.
They're
But
not always happy, but they're not necessarily like super.
It's not dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like where I am right now is super happy in Hunter x
Hunter
because
x Hunter?
because I'm in the
Yeah.
beginning still, and so
Nice.
everything
You're in
like
the good
Gon is still
times.
really enthusiastic,
Awesome.
and Lirio is like the comic relief, and he's really
Oh,
cool with his
yeah.
stupid tie.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter is so good.
It's so good, and it's really entertaining. And I just wanted something happy in the background while I worked because I have to pay attention with either deeper stuff like Erased
Right.
or more clever stuff like Spice and Wolf. So I was like, I'm gonna watch Hunter x Hunter, and then because we were doing love stories, I brushed up on Inuyasha, which is an
Oh.
oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
loved watching that.
But adorable dog demon and this girl who's a priestess reincarnated, but she's jealous of the other it gets interesting.
yeah, it's so weird. It's like that's kind of you, but not.
But yeah, it's me, but it's not me, and I'm jealous of me, and this is whole love triangle.
Get over yourself.
Yeah, it's a good balance of like action and comedy and drama, and
Yeah.
it's a classic for a reason.
I really need to watch it. I remember being in 8th grade, and all my friends were like super into it, and I was like, I'm just gonna read Fruits Basket again. Like, like it's fine. Like
This show doesn't have enough fruit in it. I'm not gonna watch
I
it.
was like, this doesn't have enough cat boys. Like,
But
sorry.
but it has a doggy boy.
But
Yeah,
the
dog
dogs.
boy.
Doggy boy.
So, yeah, it's one of those things like that was around the time where I was like, I gotta get into college. 8th grade, I know it's stupid, but I was like, I gotta get into college. So
That's
like,
ambitious. I like that. You know what I was
Yeah.
doing in 8th grade? I was playing Final Fantasy 8 or something like like 7.
I was playing 10.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is I have a lot of time to catch up on, and this is probably like towards the top of my list. Inuyasha, Inuyasha. Everybody said Inuyasha when I was
Yeah.
in 8th grade. It's not.
I remember
That's
It's
not.
not.
What it
It's
is.
yeah. Inu,
Inu.
Inu, like Dougie.
Inu.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
duh.
Whoa.
Hey.
Yeah, I used to watch it. I remember watching it late at night. And my friend was obsessed with it, so I had to watch it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I love watching the English dub. It's Kagome is like Kagomi or something like
Yes.
that.
Gosh, those old dubs. Some of them
Yeah.
are.
They were actually pretty entertaining.
charming.
I'm good for
kinda-
what they were.
I kind of want to watch it for a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it, and it's
Nice.
classic. So
Awesome.
highly recommend it.
You're the shonen queen.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
trying to be.
This is the Shonen King to my left. Speaking of Megway,
Yeah.
Meg, what you been watching?
So I mean, I'm always watching One Piece, but
lot.
aside from that, I've been keeping up with some of the recent shows. So like one I'm living right now, and I'm watching with my girlfriend like all the time is Haikyuu. Haikyuu,
The volleyball boyfriends.
how it started was I was at Fanime last year, and then people were running around with the uniforms on.
Mm,
Like, what is this? I know I've seen this before. And I was watching Kuroko and
Kuroko no Basket.
and Yowamushi Pedal.
Yeah.
I was watching those two.
I like that one a lot.
And then I was like, oh, this is another sports anime. So I checked it out and like, I don't know anything about volleyball. I've seen it, but now I'm down.
I like Haikyuu. It's really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I still haven't got to watch it.
Anything where it's like tournament style like anime and shonen. Ugh. It's like, oh, come on, you can beat them. Oh, this guy has a special ability. What?
Yeah, you gotta try Prince of Stride now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the newest one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
What's
new running
this-
anime.
It's a track. Okay. I can. Yeah, I'll dive into that for sure.
Sports on
It's very
sports on
pretty.
sports. It's very
Oh, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The music's
pretty?
awesome.
I mean, it has a nice style, so it's very bright.
Okay.
It's animated really well.
Okay.
I
very
Free's
cool.
pretty, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I was leaning
I'm
to also
joke.
bad pretty.
Yeah, Prince of Stride is also pretty, as in like pretty boys. So.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean,
That's right. I'm sure.
it's a lot of sports anime though.
Yeah. I love my sports anime.
What's your favorite sports anime?
Well, I love basketball, so Kuroko was cool. But I love Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing anime. Super. It's not that. I mean,
That's the one like a lot of people say to watch. Like if you're gonna watch a sports anime, it's like make it that one.
And there's like 3 seasons, maybe. I can't. It has like over maybe close to 100 episodes, maybe. But yeah, it's a boxing anime, and it's underdog story, and even though it seems a little bit old, like it's the animation, like you can tell it's dated, but yeah, the character's just lovable and like, yeah.
So you like basketball? Did you ever watch Slam Dunk?
I tried watching Slam Dunk.
Because that's speaking of old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw it. I started watching it. I loved it. And then Kuroko came out. I'm like, oh, well.
Well, goodbye.
Switching over. And there's like so many episodes too, right? Slam Dunk?
Yeah,
There's a lot.
yeah.
So
There's
I was
definitely
like,
a lot.
I'm not going to.
What is it? Was it a Shonen Jump
ride that
Weekly?
train right
Which
now.
means that there's like 800 episodes.
Yeah,
if
I
that's,
always
if
see.
that's true.
I always see the manga pop up.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too.
Nope.
Nope.
I like to binge watch a lot now. So anything that's like 24 episodes,
It's good.
I'll
Yeah.
start that. Yeah.
Cool.
You
But
watch
yeah.
other stuff too.
Oh, yeah. So Blair, who sits right behind me, he's an editor. He's watching Gate. And I was like, okay, I'll check that out. I watched it. Have you guys seen Gate yet?
Yeah, I've
I've seen
seen
parts of it.
Yeah.
a
Also
lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot. Not of the new season, but a lot of the first season. I think I stopped like
wait, there's multiple seasons?
halfway through. Yeah, there's a new season this season.
Yeah, there's a second.
Yeah.
Wait
It's
a
winter.
minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
The
what?
second season just started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what am wait. I know there's multiple gates out there.
Yeah, I know we talked about before.
We
the
talked
Steins
about
it.
Gate,
There's a lot of anime with the
Steins
gate in
Gate.
it.
Yeah. But this is the one with the military goes into.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they go in a
So
different
we're in the second
dimension.
season now.
Yeah.
Mind blown. I was like, okay, there's a gate. People are going through it, and people died. Now they're taking revenge or whatever.
Do you like it? Because we were kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, I was really iffy about it. The first episode like totally didn't get me at all. I was like, this is weird.
That's what I actually liked. I liked
Oh,
the
really?
beginning. I liked the beginning a lot. Then it started falling off for me a little bit. And then I put it on my backlog. I was like, I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
It's a later thing for me.
Yeah,
but
it's just weird seeing fantasy and like military like
Yeah.
weapons together in the same universe. But like later on, I kind of started digging it.
Yeah.
And then all the.
What sort of captures you later on?
So when he starts like, okay, so he goes in there and then now it's a war technically.
Right.
And then but the protagonist I forget his name already, but he's like a nice guy. He's like special forces and whatnot. He's like really like. Capable of doing anything, but he's like super just.
He's so
buddy
blasé
buddy.
He's lazy.
about
Yeah,
everything.
That too.
yeah.
Yeah, but he like he fights for like the weak guy, and then so like just seeing him like helping out people that kind of like grabbed me a bit, and then also just tanks and helicopters taking out like
Dragons and like
Yeah, it's
elves.
kind of
What?
fun.
just a
though.
bunch of like monsters and like hordes of people like whoa.
See, my problem with the show was the protagonist. Like you'd think a huge otaku like him would be like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I have dragons and
That
elf
was-
girls coming after me. It's awesome." And he was so like, "Whatever, I want to go back to my
He's got to take care of his
conventions."
waifus.
You have multiple
Yeah.
waifus to choose from in
know.
real life.
I
What's up with you?
kind of get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It's like
staying inside's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you
I'm
read
not
the
gonna fight you
SpongeBob-
on that,
The
but-
SpongeBob song Indoors. It's a classic.
I can't argue with that. I'm just saying you could have your pillow waifu or your real elf waifu. You know,
Yeah.
there comes a time when you gotta make a choice.
Yeah.
Better make the right one.
Yeah, it did get weird a bit.
'Cause
the
one
last
you-
few episodes,
yeah.
for sure.
If you keep putting the one in the washing machine, she's gonna fade out. The other, if you put it in the washing machine, well, she'll die. Never mind.
Oh goodness.
And I took it
Whoa.
there.
But
Goodbye, everyone. I've been officially kicked off the show.
but yeah, forget like it's okay for me. I'm not really. I'm following just to follow it. But
I heard the
honestly-
second season's really good, so it's
Okay.
like that's the reason I kind of want to go back to it. But right
Okay.
now,
How was the first season?
like I said, I dropped it after a while,
Okay.
like just because there was other more pressing things that I thought were more important to watch. So I kind of just
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I'll watch it later.
So I'll now have to find that.
It wasn't my favorite. It was fine. It's not. It's just that I didn't love it, and when I have
Yeah.
so much to watch already,
Yeah.
if it's not really hooking, or if we're not doing a special coverage of it, then I just kind of let it
Yeah.
fall
Totally.
off.
Yeah. I'm at the point where like, oh, I'm ready in there. Might as well keep going.
Cool.
But yeah, and then the last one is Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is another Gundam series.
Shirtless men. This is all I remember. It was the first few episodes. It's another thing where I only got to watch the first few, and it's like the guys all just had their shirts off all the time. I was like, what's happening?
Well, they're workers.
Yeah.
They're like factory workers. They're
You have my
building
attention. This
stuff.
might have potential.
It gets hot on Mars, you know? Like, of course.
Yeah.
I gotta take up that
It-
shit.
It's colder on Mars.
Yeah.
You're a little further away from the sun, but
Yeah.
there's no atmosphere, so there's no like ozone layer. So, woo.
Working up a sweat. You never know.
Yeah, and you're in your mech.
Those
Whatever.
UV rays.
Those UV rays, man.
I get a tan, you know? Actually, the protagonist is really tan.
Oh, see, there you go. It all
Tanning
makes
on
sense.
Mars.
Tanning
Let's
on
go.
Mars.
That sounds like a name of an indie band.
Tanning
on Mars.
Yeah, dude, it's a cover AKFG. Oh my, Asian Kung Fu Generation. Okay.
Yeah.
AKFG band.
Oh my god, acronyms.
Always, yep, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another Gundam series that I just gravitate towards Gundam series.
Yeah.
I kind of was too late for the early ones. So, but like Double O, I jumped into, and then I was watching Build Fighters for a bit, and then Gundam Age, and then now Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, and it's not bad. It's kind of like well, people are saying it's like the early ones where it's like just like a small faction and they're kind of like
Yeah.
just trying to
Doing
build
their thing.
themselves up and become like, you know,
Supreme.
exactly.
I'm not super well versed in Gundam, which is yet another thing that I have to catch up on. Speaking of shonen and mechs and all of that stuff, is this something that you can jump into if you're kind of a noob to the
Oh yeah,
franchise,
yeah.
or
Each
no?
of those series are different.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
usually
they're-
standalone.
Exactly.
All right,
Um,
Yeah.
good.
So I mean, you
I don't
can
want some obscure
Somehow-
reference to come up. And
Yeah,
No,
Right.
I
no.
like mech stuff, but Gundam is like the one thing I just completely missed. I don't
Mm.
know why. I was just, hello,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
missed you.
Well, for one thing, you're so much younger than the series, which
Yeah.
began in like the late 70s, like
Oh, yeah.
1978 or
Yeah.
I
9.
can't watch
That's
those.
that's part of the reason I missed it. And also, like, but I've heard about Gundam for
Yeah.
years
Sure.
and years
Right.
and years and
There's-
years. I just
Always new stuff too.
Just-
So
Yeah.
And there's a whole community who like builds actual
Oh yeah.
Gundam figures and stuff like that. It gets like
They're
really
amazing.
complicated
Yeah, I
and
Yeah.
don't.
like hobbyists do that hardcore.
Gundam
Right.
cosplayers though.
Oh yes.
Like, have you seen them? Like in
They're
the mech
so
suits, they're so
cool.
cool.
Yes.
It's made of like warbler or craft foam or something. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, it's not bad. If you're into mechs in any way, you know, definitely
that's-
check it out.
that's when I figured I was gonna binge later
Yeah.
because it's
It's
still
only
continuing.
like
That's-
15, 16 episodes.
yeah,
I
they're
think.
still going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been sorting anime lately. Is watch week by week or binge later.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, which one's later?
Or try and then just drop forever. That's my like 3 sorting mechanisms. So
yeah, put them in the piles.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Cool.
Awesome. Good
Pretty-
selection
So
all
much-
around.
Yeah, so much to watch, and it's a 3-day weekend, so we can watch a ton of
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Now I'm excited.
I'm actually gonna-
Yo, I forgot. Yes.
I can finally watch Kids on the Slope because everyone keeps talking about that anime.
Yeah.
So-
Kids on the Slope. What's that? Like a skiing? Anime?
I thought it was.
That's what everyone says.
It's not. It's
No?
about music.
Oh. All right. Cool.
It's like
I
a
was kind of hoping it was a
Stoop
skiing.
Kid.
anime.
Stoop
too.
Kid. That's what I think of. Stoop Kid or whatever his name is.
Stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, I don't know.
I didn't
that's
follow
what
that
it
at
reminds me
all.
of.
I
I
had
don't know
that
why.
before I even had the name of the show. I just had stoop kids afraid to leave a stoop.
I thought it was sort of like God, what is that movie with John Cusack? The skiing one.
I'm
Come on, I'm
super-
totally.
Is it from the 80s? Is
Yeah,
it
it's like- it's an
so all I
80s.
know about the 80s skiing movies is there's always a guy named Chad, and he
Dang it,
always
Chad.
he always challenges the protagonist to a ski off, and he's like, "We're gonna go down the death
Were
slope."
the 80s big on skiing?
Yeah,
movies?
there's so many skiing 80s movies
so
where they all go
weird.
to like a lodge. My dad's like a super 80s person, and he really likes skiing, so like I just associate. They're just all one thing. But I don't know what movie you're talking about because I've never actually watched it.
If I had my phone, if you Google on the phone John Cusack skiing movie, I'm completely blanking on the name. Hold
Kid
on,
on the
listeners and viewers. I
All
promise I'll get this. I can see it. It's not coming to me at all.
Cool Boy
It's
Race.
some-
It's a good movie.
Some
I spelled
anime.
Cusack wrong.
Like, yeah, you just hear the titles like that's not what I thought it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely not a skiing
Now I want a
anime.
skiing anime. Someone
Wait,
make a
is there a
skiing
skiing
anime,
anime?
please.
That would
I
be
mean,
cool.
there has to be.
There has to
There's
be.
gotta
If you
be.
know of
There
a
are
skiing
skiing
anime.
scenes. I know.
Yeah,
I know of
there's
those.
Oh, really?
skiing
Yeah,
in anime.
Persona 4.
Better
Oh,
off,
okay. Oh,
better
wow.
off dead.
Better Off Dead. That's it. Okay.
1985.
See, now that is not that. I wouldn't peg that for a skiing movie.
Yeah.
Better
It's
off.
on
Better
Better
Off
Off Dead. Well,
Yeah.
it's not really about
What if-
skiing's
what
kind of
if
the
we
backdrop.
Swapped the titles of Kids on the Slope and Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Would those
Oh.
titles work better? I don't know. I haven't
Possibly.
seen Kids on the
name
Slope.
swap. That should be something we talk about in a
Future
future
segment.
episode. Future segment.
Anime name swap.
Anime
But yeah.
name swap.
So, anyway.
So this weekend is Valentine's Day.
Aw, so
Yay.
romantic.
Some people are like, yeah. Some people are like, ugh. I'm one of the people who are like, yeah, because love is fun.
Love is fun.
In honor of that, we went over the 13 best anime couples because there has to be the best.
Yes.
And we chose 13 plus and a great honorable mention that is just
That rounds it out
funny.
to 14.
But
yeah.
Oh,
So it's like
I'm so
it's
happy
mostly
it's on the
13.
list.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird one. So kicking it off, we got some of the first defining couples of my childhood. Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus.
So important. They're not cousins.
God, they're not cousins.
They're not cousins.
Thank goodness.
They were, for the localization, they were changed to cousins, which was super weird.
Kissing cousins.
I mean, they
Because
never
so
got to. I think Stars is where you see their relationship bloom a lot more too,
Right,
and
and
more prominent.
It's
so.
just, in a show, like in an anime about love, they're such a strong couple and such a strong example of that. They're partners, they're girlfriends.
Yeah, way better than Usagi and Mamoru.
So much better. I love them so
kind of a low
much.
bar to jump over, but still, they're a really strong couple.
Yeah, and just it's important to see like non-straight couples in anime too. So that's
Yeah.
another reason why they're important. Just aside from them being a great couple. So.
Yeah. Another fantastic couple is from the recent My Love Story. I mean, it's all about being couples. Siri, stop. Yamato and Takeo from My Love Story are just the best at displaying like a young love and be feeling genuine. And it's very rare we see anime where the protagonists like get together
Yeah,
and make that the plot.
they get together immediately. I mean, a lot of romance anime is about the process of getting together. This is about the process of building a relationship and getting to see them bloom from like super, super shy to being able to hold hands is adorable. And they're so sweet, and the things they value about each other are really genuine, like earnest things.
And they share their love. Like they want to encourage other couples and encourage their friends. And I'm like, oh, it's a love fest in the best way possible.
Yeah, and they learn how other relationships don't always work the same way theirs does. And they learn from that too in trying to share their love. And it's just so beautiful. I
I
love
think
it.
another one that's like about growth and love, and instead of people getting together, immediately is Utena and Anthea and Revolutionary Girl Utena. And that show is all about their love and kind of them. They're not romantic at first. They're just paired together because of circumstance, and a lot of the show is them figuring out who they are and breaking what they're supposed to be. Like, you are supposed to be this thing, and then together they find out themselves, like who they can be and who they are together. So
yeah. And again, another unconventional couple,
Yeah.
which is very important.
yeah, and I love them. They're so
Yeah.
good. There's so many good relationships in that one too. So it's just like, this entire show.
There is. I would pair if I had couples that were like, I would say Okabe and Kurisu and Holo and Lawrence, because their relationships are mature, they're brilliant. Both couples are produced of like brilliant people that are proud, they're a little bit stubborn. No matter what happens, it feels like they're destined to be together, even though there's kind of a question mark hanging over their heads. Like Holo and Kraft. Holo's an immortal goddess. She's 700 years old. Kraft is 25 years old, and he's a traveling merchant. And it's kind of open-ended as to what happens to them because of that dynamic, and yet you feel like they're supposed to be together. With Okabe and Kurisu, they're literally jumping different timelines, and it's Kurisu, who Okabe always goes to, she always believes him, despite the fact they're always clashing in this very humorous way. You just feel this instant chemistry and this trust between them, between these two brilliant minds. So
Speaking
it's
of
wonderful.
fate, Inuyasha and Kagome, man, that show is actually just a big romance love
It is,
triangle,
it's a big love
square
triangle.
mess.
Yes.
And I know not everyone loves them together, but man,
I do,
they
though.
are destined.
Yeah, they're literally destined, because Kagome is like the reincarnation of Inuyasha's lovely lady, and they both sort of exist, and Inuyasha's always looking for his lost love, and yet he has this relationship with
And
Kagome.
then, then like Kagome's there. It's like, but no, Kagome. It's like, come on.
It's like, you're meant to be together.
Yeah, so seeing them together in the end and stuff is just wonderful.
Yeah, Kikyo and Kagome, they're kind of the same person, but kind of not. And in the end, Inuyasha and Kagome, for me.
Yeah. All that fan art paid off in the end.
It's all about the fan art.
Now you're
Yeah.
talking to like how like opposites kind of attract, or like they don't really match up, but they work together so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how angry they are at each other. I don't know. It's silly.
Yeah, their fights are wonderful.
Yeah.
A couple that kind of relate to that is Bon and Elaine from the Seven Deadly Sins. So like Bon is this selfish, just like loner type person that likes to steal things, and then Elaine is just this. She's like a fairy princess, and she guards the forest. And then they meet, and they build. It's weird. It's they're total opposites. She hated him when they met, obviously.
Yeah.
But they get to know each other, and they just work out. And like it's something that they love each other so much that they'll do anything for each other. Type of
Yeah, it's always great, like with all these characters, that they always make each other better. And there's something that they strive for, and they are better because of it, because they're with this person too. And it's this constant encouragement and greatness that they see in each other.
Yep.
Let's see. Next, I'm going to bring up Reina and Kumiko from Sound Euphonium. Very rarely do you see an intimacy that's presented without being very physical or obvious. And I think that was a problem people had with the relationship, but I think was the strength of it too.
Yeah.
Is they were very subtle. Like you had these young girls in school, and they're trying to figure out their feelings and what they are to each other. And this whole time, Kumiko is just so nervous around Reina, and she just obviously is really into her. And Reina's just like, what do you want? And they just have like this most romantic scene ever of them two
At the top of the mountain?
at the top of the mountain. If you haven't seen it, it's so great for that. And it's just such a sweet relationship, and I think we really rarely ever see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
It's really nice to see,
Love that.
again, like, intimacy in... Like, they give each other a look, and it's this silent look, but you can tell they're communicating a lot.
yeah.
It's one of those, and I think that's really special, even though there's not a lot of physical or any really physical stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So good. Switching gears completely, I want to talk about Taiga and Ryuji from Toradora, because they started out trying to help each other with their crushes, because they each had crushes on each other's best friends. And through that, they grow closer and closer. And there's this scene, their kiss scene is one of the best kiss scenes ever. in
All right,
the
I know
whole
what I
world.
have to go look up on YouTube right now.
It's just kind of like, I forget the exact wording. I don't want to butcher it, but it's like, coming, like it's a rough, dry wilderness, and it's like, show me again. And they do this whole kiss. It's the best ever. And she's just like this tiny little firecracker, and he's just this like sort of normal dude, and they come together, and
They make fireworks.
yeah, that scene is incredible. Highly recommend watching that.
All right, excellent.
Next, two people who didn't really get along at first. Kyo and Toru Honda from Fruits Basket. Everyone said Yuki, and we're like, no, man,
No.
that's not gonna happen.
I was a Kyo shipper from the very beginning. The cool thing about them is Kyo has a really hard time dealing with his feelings and expressing his feelings, and
so precious.
she helps him through it a lot. And like we said earlier, one of the strong suits in all these couples is that they make each other better, and she helps him work through his temper and stuff. And through that, she learns a lot about him and accepts him for who he is,
It's just
even
the
though she's helping
sweetest
him.
thing.
Yeah. And, even when he's his cat self or his demon self, she's still cares for him.
Yeah.
And it's about, she does help him improve himself, but she likes him regardless. I like that one.
That's
a lot.
just satisfying when
Mhm.
people recognize other people's flaws and they accept them.
Yeah.
You know, they don't try, like, they try to help them, but not necessarily change who they
Yeah,
are.
that's like an important part. It's not like I'm not changing you, I'm accepting you and working through something that you're having issues with.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Like, I like you for the way you are now or the way you want to be. Kind of
Yay.
thing.
Yeah.
Yay.
Someone
Aw.
said that to me.
I know who it is.
Yeah, me too. So sweet. Oh my gosh.
Next.
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 Speaking
Who
of-
do, yeah. Mike?
So yeah, on the same thread you guys are going, where people they change each other. I chose Flit and Emily from Gundam Age.
Mhm.
So their relationship pretty much defines the series, and you know they're childhood friends. You know he's a young Gundam pilot / like developer. He also works on Gundam, and then Emily's just a civilian, right? So she doesn't do much in terms of the battles and whatnot. So she worries about him to the point where she would do anything to protect him, and then he gets super serious and super angry when it comes to battles, and so they find this balance. And as time goes by, you know, it's a long-lasting relationship that definitely makes one of the best couples, or you know, the most.
Yeah.
It's like, because in a lot of shonen, there's not a lot of couples, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and that like just for sure, like you know, they're gonna live forever, whatever. This
It's like
couple
an
is what
endgame
is that?
thing.
Yeah.
Aw.
Like they'll be old, grow old, and
Speaking of not growing old together.
Well,
Well, I mean, this whole thing is spoilers.
Yeah,
I mean, a
oh,
lot
yeah,
of these
yeah,
are
we know
endgame
that.
things. Suzaku and Euphemia from Kokias. Rip.
yeah,
Oh,
bye.
The biggest tragedy in romance ever. Euphemia is just such a wonderful character, and she's such a big catalyst for a massive shift in the show when things were just going positive for so many people, and her tragedy just upsets everything. And that's one of the reasons I put them on here as romance, is just because they represent some like this weird purity in a place that's just awful, and they always just feel so genuine, and they're just so cute together. Oh gosh. Yeah, there's some great fan art out there, so just look it up.
It doesn't always have to have a happy ending to be an amazing romance.
Right.
exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Last one, Android 18 and Krillin from Dragon Ball.
I love Android
Oh,
18.
and Krillin, yeah.
Yeah. Awkward times holding babies, right?
Yeah. See, the fun thing is I don't that arc I didn't really follow too much.
Yeah.
But I know who they are, and I know that they're together. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's just like, oh, it's that couple.
It's
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're also one of our great couples. And to just kind of round this segment up, we have our honorable mention.
Yes. Best
Uh,
mention.
Pikachu and Ketchup.
Best couple in the world.
So, yeah. So this is from episode 42 of
Oh, we should buy a
Pokemon.
bottle of ketchup.
Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah, I was watching it earlier today.
Oh my gosh.
It's so dumb and so
It's-
great.
A beautiful
love-
love story. I watched an AMV set to My Heart Will Go On of this episode when the ketchup bottle breaks and Pikachu's crying. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
but I
so
love it.
if you didn't know about that, Pikachu loves ketchup so much, and the bottle breaks in the end of the episode and just cries. So
It's
Love
really
that
important. Go watch
yeah,
episode 42 of
it's so
Pokemon.
important that there's a lot of ketchup brands in Japan that will market with Pikachu. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
there was a
cool.
promotion recently with a ketchup brand, and they had like little Pikachu toppers that
Yeah.
are collectible. And
That is super smart.
yeah.
That is good marketing.
And
I mean,
there's-
it's something that Miranda and I would buy for sure.
yeah,
Oh.
I almost
Oh
bought.
gosh.
There's these special art of Pikachu holding ketchup on
Yeah.
bags and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, it's perfect.
I saw like
Oh
a
my
cushion.
gosh.
Yeah.
I really want
Oh,
a
no.
plush with the ketchup. That's like if they made that, I would buy it in every size. It's a very important relationship.
Anyway, so those are our 13 anime couples that we love, plus our honorable mention. Let us know who you guys love. What relationships out there just speak to you or are everlasting and just beautiful or tragic and sad? Let us know in the comments. I'm just sad. Like,
I'm just like blushing and sad.
I know, it's just like, oh, it's so great, but so terrible.
Oh my gosh. They should have more marketing, by the way, with anime characters and like specific foods or like
Yeah.
I've seen it around
Yeah.
Japan, but like the ketchup
Like
and Pikachu thing is brilliant.
Kyoko from Madoka and Pocky.
See,
Oh.
perfect. There you
Yeah.
go.
She's always eating Pocky.
Yeah,
Anyway,
sometimes those happen. So now I want to get back into Valentine's Day, and we have a few ways you can add a little bit more anime to your Valentine's Day. It's silly, but I'm gonna try myself because it's always a hassle to get my boyfriend to watch anime because he doesn't like watching a ton of shows at once. And I'm like, come on, I gotta watch this one. He's like, oh, but I'm already watching this one. I'm like, okay. So these are a few. You've probably seen a lot of food in anime that are kind of cutesy. One especially is like omurice. So it's the omelet rice essentially, and it's just a bunch of rice and some veggies and chicken and ketchup. Yeah. Covered in an omelet.
And you can like write on it in ketchup. So if you saw Charlotte last season or the season before.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I just get angry.
She just hates her so much. But the little sister, I don't like her either, but the little sister will write like omedetou or something, like congratulations on the omurice. So you can do something cute with food or like a bento lunch or something.
That's the cutest thing about it, is that you can make it romantic and like add a cute little note on it and then say, hey, we should watch some anime that has this food in it while we're eating it.
Or you can like Miranda, I was talking with Miranda and she's like, yeah, I got a Pikachu cookie cutter, and it's like if your boyfriend or girlfriend really likes something like Pokemon, you can make them little Pikachu cookies.
Yeah, make them a cool shape from a show you like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
My first date was watching My Love Story, so I just
like so
anime
cute.
dates.
Yeah, so the obvious one is to watch anime together.
Anime. You might not want to start with My Love Story. That's a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
You may not want to do something like Tokyo Ghoul either.
Yeah, you might want to start like middle of the road, like maybe like a Nisekoi or something. Like
yeah, it depends on what you guys are looking for. If you're looking for that super cutesy romantic thing, then maybe My Love Story is for you. Depends on
for me.
It depends on who you're watching with too, right?
Yeah.
Like take your significant other's taste into thought before you pick something.
Yeah, like if your significant other like really hates shoujo anime, like maybe don't do that.
Yeah, if they've never seen Death Note, that's like a must for everybody.
Death Note's a really good way to start, especially like if you have a significant other who's not super into anime already. We've talked about this before on the show, like shows to have people watch who don't watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
That's sort of like if you want to show them something you're interested in, like, hey, I really like anime and you don't, but this show might be something we could bond over together.
One Punch Man.
No, that's just romance, like One Punch Man.
That, or maybe Erased.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hey, babe, you know what's really romantic? Watching Erased.
It's so good, though.
It's so good.
It is definitely good. Or one suggestion I had is if you want to get everyone in the mood, you could put on some good anime music. I highly recommend, with no irony, the theme from Record of Lotus War, which is Adesso e Fortuna. It's the most romantic opening of any anime show.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Asian Kung Fu Generation.
That's like you're going out on a walk or something? Like you're just getting pumped? Yeah. Go run together?
I would also recommend the strings, the violin, or the piano version of Sakura Kiss, which is the theme to Ouran High School Host Club, the Kiss Kiss Fall in Love song.
Yeah.
But it sounds like wedding. Like I'm gonna play it at my wedding. No joke. I had this planned like years ago. I'm gonna play this song, the piano version, at my wedding because it's really romantic in the piano version with no lyrics or anything. It's another one.
What songs are you guys gonna walk down the aisle to?
Sakura Kiss.
Well, okay, Sakura Kiss, Miranda.
Undecided.
I think it's gonna be Adesso e Fortuna from Lotus War. What about you, Mike?
Well, I'll be standing there. I won't be walking.
You can do what you want.
You do.
The first thing that comes to mind is
if you have a Greek wedding, they do walk around the altar.
Okay.
So
well, I mean,
there you go.
What comes to your mind?
First thing that came to my mind was literally like Final Fantasy music.
Yeah.
See, that was
like
that's
Final
my
Fantasy
game
8
thing.
Waltz with Squall and Renoa.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for some
I don't know why.
romantic anime music, like
Hey,
you get me. Yuri Arashi's opening theme is very
It has
like,
Yuri in the title, everybody.
it's not, I don't know, it's not, just listen to it, it's fine. I love it, it's really great. But yeah, those are my, it's not like groovy, it's just like, oh, it's sweet and innocence in a weird, sensual, it's weird. Anyways.
Yeah,
it's good.
Openings with sexy saxophone music.
What I'm doing after this.
It's so good. Just watch your Kumarashi too, okay, guys?
Yeah.
So those are a few things we'd recommend you guys do. Of course, you could always, I don't know if there's like gifting you guys want. a lot of anime for Valentine's Day in Japan, the girls actually make chocolate for guys or give gifts, like depending on what they want to do.
Yeah, it's usually chocolate, and then White Day comes after, which is the reciprocal day for guys in heterosexual relationships. So if you want to have a traditional Japanese Valentine's Day,
if that's
not traditional, but like typical Japanese Valentine's Day, make your sweetie some chocolates.
Yeah.
Or buy them if you don't want to make them, like I also would not.
Just get some Godiva chocolates or Ghirardelli chocolates.
Yeah.
Call it a day. Here's some M&Ms. Just throw it at them. Just throw it in their face. Here you guys. How I
Love
feel that you. Yeah. Love you.
Bye.
Mean it.
Yeah, so
And that's why I'm single, ladies and gentlemen, because I throw M&Ms and Kit Kats at people.
At passerbys.
Oh, like you want to go on a break. Get it?
Hey!
Okay.
Should have had Snickers. Anyway, so those are a few things you guys can do. Let us know what you guys do to incorporate anime to your Valentine's Day. If it's just watching anime, that's pretty typical. I mean, that's what I do. But yeah, see if there's like some unique ways you can get it in. For a gift idea, you could always take a Blu-ray if it's like a special things you guys have together, and you can make a custom cover.
That's a
So
great
it's
idea.
like it's like a Valentine's Day card, but it's a Blu-ray thing of anime, hopefully.
Yeah,
So,
like a show you bonded over together or something.
Yeah.
That'd be so cute.
It's gone forever. Don't worry about it. My pen
went
fell
into
off.
the
Pen
void.
has disappeared into the void.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so let us know what you guys do. And with that, I think we're ready to jump into our watch party.
Yes.
Yeah, watch party.
Yeah, so every week we watch 2 episodes of a show you guys chose, and this time we're watching Gurren Lagann. And we are getting to the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Already.
I know, it always goes by so fast. We're on episode 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Getting it.
Getting her pen.
Good job.
I just like this show more and more every episode. I really liked episode 21. That was kind of the Yoko episode that I'd been waiting for my whole life. Basically, you see kind of a flashback to a year previously where she's a school teacher. She's going by a different name. They totally know that it's her because she's famous.
Yeah,
But
and she
she's-
throws chalk like darts.
Yeah, she's my idol. I love her so much. She's perfect. And I just really liked that because the contrast earlier in the series between Yoko and Nia was like Yoko's kind of the rough around the edges tough one, and Nia is the more like not homemakery, but
A little more domestic.
a little more domestic and maybe more refined, or they're both kind, but like Nia just had that certain like wife type personality. And it's nice to see a more sensitive, quote unquote sensitive side of Yoko. I mean, she's caring for kids. She deeply cares for these kids, but she's doing it in her own way. I mean, she's throwing chalk at them and being like, you know, there's no chatting in this classroom. I'm like, yes, yeah, queen. And I just like that because it added a lot of depth to her character that I think was important, especially when you're having this direct comparison between two kind of opposite tropes of womanhood. So I liked her a lot.
There's one silly and also questionable thing about her, though, is she gets glasses. Where did she get glasses?
Because she's a hot school teacher. That's just part of the
Yes,
territory. You put up your hair and
I
you
don't think she ever
Disguise.
needed before.
Yeah.
But
Everyone, she's doing the Superman formula. You put on glasses and no one recognizes you.
yeah, but I'm also like, where did she get those?
Yeah, like there's a lot of things where I'm like, how do they have education? It's been 7 years. They were living in holes in the ground before now. So there's a whole thing about the advanced like technological advancements.
I'm sure like some communities still taught
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
things.
I'm sure, but
but
I was
also
like, I was like,
Some
wow,
people did read.
they
in
know a
the
lot of
caves,
stuff.
yeah.
They have like GPS and stuff. And suddenly someone made her some glasses that don't do anything because she can see without
That's
them.
that's like
Guys.
those
Oh,
fake
yeah.
glasses some people get
Yeah,
for
and
like
some
fashion models and stuff
crazy
like that.
people.
Yeah.
I don't. I hate my glasses.
I gotta say, I wasn't really digging the school teacher look on her, so I was excited to see her come back with that cool jacket.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how she's like, now that I'm a teacher, I must wear a long skirt, and it's like, man, just do you.
It's like, I'm a teacher, so I must be as covered as possible. I'm like,
Yes,
you're
like,
just going the complete opposite of before.
It's her disguise, you know.
Her disguise is
Exactly.
no one will know in my skin-tight school teacher outfit who I am. But seriously, I really did like seeing a more in-depth look at her personality because she had been kind of sidelined a little bit in favor of other characters and the political tension, which of course I did like. So
I think it feels balanced that she got essentially her own episode to kind of flesh out what she's been doing and how she's been coping with this new change.
I'm sorry. I didn't like this episode.
You
Actually,
didn't?
I didn't. I was pretty bored with the whole school marm thing. I was like, I know she comes back. I don't care about this. It's sort of conventional. Oh, I went off and be a school teacher and I'm the opposite of what I am. It was something kind of predictable. And also, I just didn't like the way the show sort of yanks her out and then pushes her back in. It just felt awkward and forced to me, at least. I really didn't like that she kind of, for several episodes, she just sort of disappears. Well, I'm not into this government political thing, so bye. I'm like, it just feels like the people who created the show were like, we don't know what to do with her. Let's get rid of her.
I think that makes sense for her to go, though, because with her personality, she's the one who took a stance and said, hey, guys, I'm more independent, and I'm not just going to follow along with this because it's not my thing, which it was not a lot of people's thing. Like, being part of the government wasn't
stuck around.
Right.
Like, I still feel like they could have done something with
but
her.
I think Yoko's big connection to the team, was no longer there. Kamina is no longer there, so, like, her leaving wasn't so
and I think
crazy.
The school teacher stuff makes sense because she kind of took this attitude that, like, she's like a fighter. Like, she's fighting for the future and for the future of the human race. And for her, being there with the first kids born on the surface was like, I'm defending their future. I'm fighting for the future of all kids to live under the sun happily. Like, she even says that. So I think it does make sense. Because at first I was like, really? The sniper turned into a teacher? But then I was like, I don't want to put down teachers. Like, that's like, and she's doing it in her own way. And it made sense for me, at least, the way I had grown to know her character. So
I don't know. I just found it contradictory to her nature,
to
to the point where I was like, nope, don't buy it. But
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Mike, what did you think?
Well, I accidentally binge watched the whole thing.
It does happen
I lost
from time to
track
time.
of the episodes for the watch party. So I don't quite remember as much as I do. But her as a teacher, I mean, it didn't really take away from just the story for me. It's like, she was just gone. I'm like, what's she doing? Oh, okay. She's kind of doing her own thing. I kind of took it as like a break from everything. Like, she's been through all that huge battle and then lost someone that, she cared deeply for. And then I guess she just wanted time off. And probably just decided to do a teacher. And that helped. But, I mean, but then it gets better.
Yes, like episode 22 better.
Yeah, like the last part of 21 and 22, we get into the big fights. Mm-hmm. It's time to get up the big guns.
Oh, yeah.
And push back the moon or destroy it.
Yeah.
But not really, because now it's a big spaceship.
It's like a Death
Yeah.
Star spaceship thing.
But what about the tides now? What about
That's-
how is the Earth still have light?
Honestly, that's the
Magic.
part that most bugs me is what about the tides, though?
Because they showed it going crazy whenever it's getting close.
Yeah.
But what happens when it's gone?
And what happens when there's it's like Cowboy Bebop, where it's like meteorites are constantly coming down on Earth because this thing partially did explode and all this stuff exploded in
ruins-
space.
And there was gravitational pull stuff.
no,
It's a lot of space
Science.
physics. Basically, I had the Clocktown music stuck in my head this whole episode.
Yeah.
Big old smiley moon.
real fast. Yeah. I did. So it was interesting that Viral and Simon are.
And buddy up. And I just don't.
Yeah.
That's the part I could not buy. Like, they were enemies for so long, and then they're saying catchphrases together. I'm like, no. Like, you guys can be together, and I can see the bond between humanity and Beastmen, like, kind of forming to protect themselves. But don't say catchphrases together. Like,
Yeah, especially when it was a
Kamina thing, and
and it's
killed
like,
him?
You killed him.
get out of
Yeah.
here.
I didn't have as much of a problem with it as you did, but I do think the catchphrases thing is weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm
That's
still
the
mad
thing
at him.
about
I'm still
Kamina
mad at him
most.
for killing Kamina,
Oh.
and Kamina's not real. So anime is real, and but I did think it was interesting that Simon took the approach like you're supposed to be the bard. Basically, you're supposed to bear witness to everything that humanity has to offer. So you need to come with me and bear witness. And I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure I necessarily think it's a perfect justification, but I don't know. It was an interesting approach.
I liked it, but I do think that it's weird that they didn't really address the fact that he killed Kamina. And also, it kind of points to all the things I don't like about this show, which is the pacing is awkward or things are presented to us. And I'm like, even if it's a BS explanation, like a little, like it just feels like there's a lot of convenient. Well, don't think about that. Don't think about it. Just have a good time, and it starts to pile up, and you're just like, it's weird. I don't know if pacing is the right word, but there's a lot of stuff where it's like, and now this is gonna be the way it is. You know, these two are gonna team up and do catchphrases together, and you're like, I would believe it more if you spent an episode maybe more firmly establishing how they went from mortal enemies to bestest buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think part of him, like, respected Kamina, you know? Like, when he found out that he, you know.
Yeah, he was really mad about
he was
that.
a little, like, you know.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
and I
At
see
a
Simon
loss.
being more forgiving too. Like obviously he is.
Yeah.
I also
You know,
like
Moon's going to crash on the Earth. They have to, like, work together.
Yeah.
kind of have to suck it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
There's more important things going on.
Yeah. I also liked how this episode saw a return to like the team Gurren like spirit of camaraderie, like nakama, like they all like come together, and there's that scene in the beginning of 22 where it's like everybody's faces like lined up and they're like, yeah, let's go. And I just loved that because that was the spirit of the first Cur, basically, is we're bonding together
To take down a big old enemy.
to take down an enemy, and they're kind of returning. The moon is the enemy this time, but they're returning to that, and that made me happy.
But only kind of the enemy, because now it's a spaceship
Yeah.
for everyone.
Not only that, but there seems to be all sorts of obscure pop references. Like the moon at one point had the face of Jack Skellington, and it looks kind of like the Death Star. And then the big arc turned into Mega Maid from Spaceballs. And I was like, I don't know if I'm just imagining all of these references or if this is really happening, because the show has had obscure references
Pretty
in the past.
ridiculous, yeah.
Obscure Western references.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
to Kevin S. for pointing those out on the Facebook group.
Yes.
Facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club is the official group.
Woo.
On point.
Very good.
Yeah, Kevin S. always provides us with these
Very cool.
hints. So,
These are pro
yeah, so,
analysis.
yeah, so thanks to Kevin S.'s analysis, that is very likely, I think, that...
It wasn't up this time because we recorded early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin S. We couldn't find... sorry. But
Just confirm if I'm right or
this
wrong.
is why
about
I'm
it.
giving him a shout out now. Because he always does a good job, and it's really valuable, and I wouldn't have noticed it without him, so I think... Like, I feel like, because I didn't really pick up on these references because I wasn't paying attention to that sort of thing, because I was just like, yeah, fight the power. But I probably would have been like, I'm insane, and just like written it off if I hadn't known about those previous Western references. So
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought they were super obvious between the Death Star, like lasers coming out of the moon, and the Jack Skeleton face, and the fact that this thing turned into Mega Maid.
I don't
She's
even
gone
know.
from sec to blow.
Space.
I've never seen Space.
I didn't.
You've never seen Space?
I didn't
I'm
watch
a
it because I thought
child.
it looked dumb.
Oh my gosh,
was
she had to
like,
quote that movie
no.
verbatim. That's an anime for you. Spaceballs, somebody make it.
Anime Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs, though. That's good.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
next week we'll be watching 23 and 24. We're getting close to the end, so we're going to start thinking about our next watch parties. If you guys have recommendations or things you want to see, make sure it's legal stream, which you can actually find at because.moe.
Because.moe is awesome.
Is the best, so you can change your region. I think right now they only have Canada, US, and Australia, and UK. So you can find where things are streaming legally.
Yeah, it's a
and
streaming
it'll pull-
search engine, basically,
Yeah,
and you put in
it's
any
the
show.
best.
And
So-
it's really helpful if you're trying to find where to legally watch
And
something.
that's really important because people have been asking, how come you haven't been talking about the newest Dragon Ball? It's like, because it's not legally
Because we're not going to talk
available.
about it if we can't watch it. So
We don't watch
Yeah,
things
support your
not
anime.
legally. So
yeah, support the
support
anime.
the anime.
yeah.
It's very important, so we can keep having anime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, anime.
Yeah, anime. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Connection.
So next week, be sure to send in your comments, and we will read them on the show. And we want to know what you guys think about the show. Yeah, and so that's about it for this episode. Where
Sweet.
can they find you guys on the interwebs? And what are you guys doing? You guys have anything to promote?
Not really. Well, I mean, Brian and Max are doing this cool grudge match Street Fighter series, so be sure to check that out on IGN. It's really cool. We got pro players Combo Fiend and Mike Ross, I believe is his name. They're coaching
Oh,
Brian and Max to play Street Fighter. So
Cool.
That's awesome.
check that out.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, on Twitter, you can follow me at XPMNMs.
That's awesome.
Meg, you got anything?
I do. I'm working on a review that'll be up early next week. Most of you have probably guessed already what it is. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, though. But you can get more hints on my Twitter account at Megan, MEGHAN _IGN.
At the end of this week, we're going to have our list of the 13 best anime couples. So you should look for that and share it with your friends and read it on Valentine's Day and be like, wow, we're so full of love and sadness. And I'm also working on the Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth review. It's a very long game, and we got it last Tuesday, but I've been busy with personal things, so I haven't been able to play tons. But so hopefully that will be up next week. But we shall see. And you can follow me on Twitter at HavoCRose.
I am working on Pokemon stuff continually for the upcoming Pokemon Day, which is February 27th. That's going to be the 20th anniversary of the Japan release of Red and Green. So I'm working on some features for that, some cool Pokemon stuff you're going to be able to see on the site soon. And other than that, I have some reviews in the works. I might be doing Call of Duty stuff.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah, someone today was like, who plays Call of Duty in the office? And someone was like, Callie plays. And he was like, what?
I'm
like,
Sketchel?
Yeah, it was Sketchel.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, hey, what's up? What do you need? So look out for that sometime. I don't know. There's nothing concrete in the works, but I will be doing Call of Duty stuff if you're into that. And you can see me discuss first-person shooters and cute things on my Twitter at InkydojikO, INKYDOJIKKO.
Cool. And so thank you again for so much coming back.
Yeah,
Mike.
thanks, Mike.
It's fun.
Yeah. Love anime.
And we love anime too. Wow.
Yay, anime.
Yay, anime. Okay, with that, we're going to end the episode. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.